Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Today I'm playing along with Sara Scraps over at her Shimelle's Sketches Reimagined series, and this is the sketch we are using. She challenged us to use it over at the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and so I decided to play along, and I've got this video for you today. I hope you enjoy it. I decided to go ahead and use this paper from Shimelle, and it is from Box of Crayons. I really love the toucans in it, and I knew that I wanted to use them because my grandson is wearing a shirt that has toucans, and so it fit perfectly. And I decided to flip the sketch just so that it is from right to left. I didn't do a vertical flip, it's all a horizontal flip. And mostly because that toucan in the bottom right hand corner, I didn't want to cover him up, and he kind of has to go in that corner. So that's why I decided to do that. And then my grandson is looking kind of straight on in both of the photos, and he was centered in both photos, and they were horizontal photos, so I decided to trim off the edge on the right and the left of him, so they are now 4x4s rather than 4x6. And then I knew I also wanted to have a strip of the toucan paper up in the upper left hand corner. So I'm kind of playing around where the biggest square, which part of the paper I'm going to use for the biggest square, and that's the one with the polka dots that you see there. And I've kind of flipped it around in all directions, and I'm not really sure, but I decide for sure that I'm going to use the yellow portion in the bottom left hand corner. And I like how that looks, and I do like the polka dots. It has that one row of polka dots on it, which kind of gives a visual divide between the sections of paper. And so I like how that looks, and I'm using that piece as kind of a guide to trim down the piece above it. And they are not really cut by a specific measurement. I started with the toucan in the bottom right hand corner, and I cut that paper so that it would fit him in it, and everything else is kind of matched up to that. And then I kind of had to trim things down a little bit because in the sketch the papers are not butted up right next to each other, and there is a border all the way around, and I wanted to keep that. Obviously in a sketch you can change it however you like. It's a jumping off point, and you can do it, you could butt them up if you wanted to. You could put washi tape or border strips over all of those gaps if you wanted to, but I didn't want to. I wanted to follow the sketch pretty much as it is, with the exception of flipping it. So that's what I did. I left a little bit of white in between each of those papers, and I really like how it looks. I actually left the branding strip on that polka dotted paper, and that is what you see, that little diagonal hash line, and I like that because it mimics that visual barrier that is in the bottom yellow piece. Although one is polka dot and one is stripe, I kind of like it. It gives it a definite edge, and I really like having the yellow up in the upper right hand side, and that is what made the decision for me when I was deciding what orientation I wanted that largest square. Since I have the yellow in the bottom left, I decided I needed it in the upper right just to kind of bring it all the way across the page. Now I am using my T-square ruler to line things up. I use it a lot. I don't always measure, but I do like to have things straight, especially if it's supposed to be kind of a grid style layout. And while this is not specifically a grid, it is kind of. It's 4 blocks instead of 6 blocks, and they're not all the same size, but I do want the gaps between them to be relatively similar. And then I decided to go ahead, and you just saw me writing the date of the photos on the back of the layout because I have a bad habit of not dating my layouts, and when I go to put them away I have to go back and look through photos and get the dates, and that really, I'm bad about putting my layouts away as well. And last year on New Year's Day I put away probably 200 layouts, and I would say probably half of them I didn't have dates for. I had to go back and find dates. So my New Year's resolution was to write the date down somewhere. So it's on the back of the layout, and that way if I forget to stamp it on there or write it on there, I can easily get it. I won't be ripping photos off of my layout this year on New Year's Day when I finally decide to put my layouts away. No, in all seriousness, I hope I hope I put them away sooner than that, but we'll see. I haven't yet, and I think I'm on, like, this might be 233 for the year so far, so who knows. Okay, so I had these thickers. I thought I was going to use this Cool Kid. That is, I'm not sure where that's actually from. It might be from the Cool Kid collection. I'm not really positive. But then I decided to go back to this set of thickers from Shimelle, and these are foam navy blue with silver sparkle. And I decided to use those. I really like bringing in the dark colors to kind of tone the whole layout down. And I think it works really well, especially when you have a lot of bright colors, to have a dark, bold something on the layout. And in this case, it is the title. I decided to map my grandson's photos on white cardstock, and that works out really well. If you follow Christina Sorge, you may already know this, but she has they're like 4.5 by 6.5 inch cardstock pieces that you can buy through Hobby Lobby, and she uses those to mat her photos. And I tried doing that, and I love it. I just have a stack of white and a stack of black, and I don't have wasted white 12-inch cardstock or black 12-inch cardstock in, pieces. The majority of the time my layouts have a 4x6 or something similar to it, and so there's not much waste. So highly recommend it. I decided to pull out this tab punch, or die. It's not a punch, it's a die, and cut that yellow piece. And then I pulled out another one that's like a label die to cut a piece of that turquoise lined paper that the big toucan is in the bottom corner. And I'm bringing those colors up to the top there across the join, just like the sketch has. And then I used a stamp die a postage stamp die to cut another piece on top of that. But that little piece is not going to stay. I'm going to change the color. And then the stickers, or the thicker sheet, had these foam hearts on it, and I decided to go ahead and use those as part of my embellishments. And I typically, with open hearts or open stars, I typically put something in the middle to back them, because I don't like to see where my papers like join or layer underneath or in the middle of those stars or hearts. So I typically put something there. If I'm not putting something solid, I might use a piece of vellum just to lessen the harshness of any paper layers showing through. So I decided to use a piece of the navy blue polka dot area to make that postage stamp, just to bring that up into that area. And I'm going to ink those edges with a navy blue. And I didn't ink any of the other pieces of paper, but I felt like these kind of needed a little bit of something to just make them pop a little bit more. And then the postage stamp one is going up onto Fun Foam. And I typically put the adhesive side of the Fun Foam onto the paper that I am going to stick down, and then I use my liquid adhesive to stick it onto my layout. That works best for me. It may not work best for you, but it's what I prefer, so that's what I do. And I did a little bit of cleanup, and I pulled out some stickers, and I am going to use the ones on the left-hand side. And those are from not Never Grow Up, I'm sorry. They are from Little by Little. And there's just some little yellow flowers in there, so I decided to scatter those around where those hearts are, and I like how that looks. And I did bring one down to that little toucan in the bottom right-hand corner as well, just to give a little bit more dimension and interest down there. And then I am going to actually stamp my date. I remembered. Hooray for me. But in the event that I didn't, I have it on the back. So that's a good thing. And then I'm going to go through my ephemera that I have from the Shimelle collections that I've got. And I have everything in one box or one little bin, everything of hers, and all of the packaging was kind of getting, I don't know, rifled through so much that it just wasn't in good shape. So I've kind of put everything into these little plastic folders here, and I believe those are from Ali Edwards. I think they're for like putting your photos in or something like that. But I just decided to put all my loose ephemera into there, and I can just rifle through and figure out what I want to use. And I really like that little piece, You Are Super, kind of tucked in there. And I didn't put it in straight. I like it a little bit on the diagonal. It looks like it's just kind of like haphazardly stuck in there. I was going to put these two little circles, half circles, up at the top here, but I didn't really like it. I let them sit there for a while I was doing something else, and that's something I commonly do. I place something, leave it there for a while I work on something else, and if I don't like it, I take it off. And they are not going to end up staying in that spot. So, and then at the end, I'm going to sprinkle some silver mist across. I do try to find a place for this little toucan sticker to go, but I didn't want to add another embellishment area above the photo on the left-hand side. I've got enough embellishment areas going on. I've got a nice, you know, frame to the photos there, and I didn't want to add another area and just draw your eye somewhere else other than where they're already supposed to be, which is on the photos. So I just sprinkle some silver Mr. Huey's on there, and then that's it. That's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out Sara Scraps and her video as well, and I will see you next time. Like and subscribe if you would. I would really appreciate it. Here are the close-ups. Bye.